What is happening, people? I hope you guys are good. I hope you guys are well. We are back. McLaren Fan TV. Yes, it's a Monday. I know it's a Monday, but we had to record early doors because what a weekend it's been. Grand Prix Formula One is back, but it's been quite a hectic weekend from the Friday to the Sunday. And of course, I'm joined with my co-host, Mahad, from the Pit Stop Record, MFTV. Mahad, what's going on?
I'm all right. Not the start of the triple header I was hoping for, but as we always say, we go again. But we've got a lot to talk about. That was an eventful weekend, to say the least.
Yeah, it was. It was. I mean, was you glad to just have Formula One back?
I don't know. Initially, before I saw the car and everything like that, I was raring to go. I was like, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Yeah.
But as the weekend went along, I was like, this ain't looking good, man.
It's not looking good, bruv.
No. I think it was a bit of a mess of a weekend altogether. It was a really difficult weekend. And, that just cherry on the cake, the race.
Did you feel like we were going to struggle in Austin before the week arrived?
Absolutely
Because
not.
all of a sudden it seemed like it was common knowledge that McLaren weren't that confident in Austin. And I was like, well, where's this come from? Last time I checked, I thought we were like ready to put some upgrades on and get it cracking. So what happened?
Do you know what it is? Yeah, I think it's a case of they thought this, and then when they got to the track and then they started practice one, they realized, oh, this is not the track for us. Even with the upgrades and everything like that, I think even if we had the car that we had in Singapore, I think we would have struggled because the car is very much like an all-rounder. We're good in all types of scenarios, but we're just good. We're not exceptional in like high speed or low speed or anything like that. We're just a good all-rounder. So when we have a type of track that kind of rewards that, we can get the lap time out of it. But this track, it was weird. It was like you're either heavily rewarded for being really fast in sector one, or you're heavily rewarded to being fast in slow corners. Yeah. And with Ferrari, they're really good in slow corners. And with Red Bull, they're really fast in sector one in the high speed. And just being normal in those in all around the lap doesn't really work out for you. Right. So that's why it was really difficult to find the balance. I don't know. They really struggled on Friday, especially practice. And then obviously the sprint quali. And then obviously you're locked in from that for the sprint race as well. So yeah, the car was not good at the initial part of the weekend, but it kind of built itself into it. Obviously, got the pole fortuitously, like we didn't probably expect that pole. And then at the beginning of that race, we were shambles, like in terms of the speed of the car. And then when it went down, when the tires started graining and it got through the graining process and the fuel went lower, then the car was alive again. So really strange weekend overall.
Yeah, very strange weekend indeed. Let me shout out to the people that are locked in right now. There's almost 20 of you already in the chat right now. Big up yourselves watching. Make sure you smash a like on the video because it's been a tough weekend for us McLaren fans, man. It's been a hard one to watch. Z says, hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well, Z. Jean Cartier says, hello. Hope you're good. Drea, hey, guys, of course. Adam Heddle, good evening, everyone. People are not happy in the chat. Drea says, I want to move on. I'm glad we're doing this tonight. This was difficult. This was all in all a difficult weekend. Track wasn't our best, clearly. I wouldn't predict anything for Mexico. Yeah. What are your thoughts on
that? I would say just wait. I'm not gonna, in terms of Mexico, I'm just gonna just see what happens. Obviously, we've got a floor. Obviously, they've upgraded most of the car, but they didn't bring the floor. So I would have preferred them to bring everything in one go. But and obviously other teams have improved as well, so they've kind of moved up forward. So let's just see what happens in Mexico and see. And we've got 3 practice sessions to obviously finesse everything in. But yeah, very difficult weekend.
I'm telling you, that's one thing I don't like about sprint weekends. It's the lack of time and data to gather before, because practice 1 and 2, that's the setup. That's let's throw the pasta on the wall. What sticks? What doesn't work? Practice 3, it's like, okay, cool. Are we comfortable? Are we good? Are we ready to rock and roll for quali? And then off we go to the races. But sprint races always, they've worked in our favor sometimes because the other teams haven't had the luxury of learning their car. But when I thought like we know ours, I feel like, is it crazy to come back to a sprint weekend first week back from a 4-week break? Do you know what I mean? Like, is that the way to go? I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't
I
have
guess
the
it was.
answers.
I
I
guess
don't
it
have
was.
the answers for that.
I guess it's just TV. It's entertainment. It's for the fans. You know, we get more Formula One in that sense. Sean Cartier says, "I'm so fed up with Lando. He needs to go. He doesn't have what it takes to be a champion. I had enough." Zach and Andrea need to open their eyes. I will always be a team cheerer, not a driver one. Interesting. What are your teas on that, Mad? People are not happy.
Yeah, but like he's entitled to feel that way. I'm not really too bothered to do that. You're entitled to feel that way. If
Are
you
you
feel
done?
like if you can get somebody else in, Jean, let us know who should be the replacement. Let us know.
Yeah, let us know, Jean, because I mean, I get the frustration.
Do you need to put the replacement in now? What happens? Tell us.
Like, I get the frustration for sure. But he needs to go and he doesn't have what it takes. I think it's very early. Early in the sense of like him being in a championship type of car. You know what I mean? This is the first time he's ever had a car that can win races.
Yeah.
You know? Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. Make sure you do get your comments in the comment section. Of course, we'll read them out. And everyone is entitled to their opinion, for damn sure. Hussein says Stella was spitting some facts this weekend. What was he saying? I know he was very much he wasn't for the penalty. And it seemed like he knew, like, okay, look, we're going to be in a bit of a battle. He felt like it was a 3-team race, if that made sense in terms of who could win. But yeah, he seemed very stern. I think he was very hacked off, and the McLaren team seemed very hacked off by the decision for penalizing Lando Norris for his attempt overtake at Max Verstappen. I don't know where are you with the I guess with the Max battle? You know, and is Stella, are you on Stella's side with this one? Where are we with this?
I feel I'm a bit mixed. In the sense of there's like a kind of a three-pronged effect here, right? So me personally, this is just me just racing. If it's car A, car B, whatever, yeah. I don't personally believe the guy on the outside has any rights if you're trying to overtake. If you're on the outside and you're trying to do an overtake, you ain't got no rights at all.
Yeah,
right.
I tend to agree with that.
Yeah, and that's me from like 101 racing from way back, right? I understand you got to leave space, so on and so on, right? This is the new age and whatever. But I'm kind of old school. If you're on the inside, you have every rights, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Me personally, that's my personal opinion, right? It might not be everybody's cup of tea, whatever. People might agree that you need to give the guy on the outside space and so on and so on. That's fine. But for me, what I've been watching since 90s, the guy on the inside has the rights, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're sticking on the outside, you're always at risk in terms of things going against you in terms of stewards, right? At that moment in time, obviously Lando caught up with him, did a good job, and obviously Red Bull was really struggling in terms of the race, and I was a bit miffed about it. I was confused because they were good in the sprint, and then they were not good in the race as well, which made no sense. But for me,
by the way, I had my head in my hands when I saw Max doing what he did Friday, and I was like, "You're joking." I was like, "This break, we did not need to have this break if it meant Red Bull getting back in the swing of things." Sorry for interrupting you.
No, it's cool. No, it's fine. I think just in general, like, I think Lando didn't learn the lesson for Austria in terms of how to race him. I thought, and the thing is, I think what Austria did, I thought he was just going to carry on with that because I feel like being aggressive is the way to go. But he was way too passive. He went the other direction.
You think he was too passive, yeah?
Yeah, I think he should have. I don't think Austria should have deterred him from being like that. I think he should have been the same as he was in Austria in terms of the aggression and obviously it was a good amount of laps that this guy was trying to overtake him.
Yeah,
it's not like a short amount of time, right?
It was.
And I'm gonna get onto the actual incident itself, guys.
Yeah.
So don't worry about that. But I need to see more moves, man. Did you know what it was like watching? Because I'll be totally honest with you, yeah. I saw the start. I saw him lose them position. I switched off the TV, so I had to watch it. Right?
Honestly,
because to me, whatever score we're giving Lando at the end of the stream, it's going to be low just for that. Because it's diabolical.
Yeah,
just cut it off. But in terms of, do you know what it was like watching? It was like watching a winger in football, only just going down the byline and trying to get past them, and he's getting locked off. Not trying throughout the whole 90 minutes. Not trying something else. Let me cut in. Let me do a step over. None of that. He did the same move over and over again. I think it was going to work, right? He didn't once attempt to do a dive bomb or anything like that or around the outside. I think on that corner, later on that lap, he was better off trying to overtake then. He had a better chance. That's when he was going side by side. That was his better chance to go overtake Max. He was never ever going to overtake Max on that corner. Ever. Ever. You should have known from the first like five attempts that forget about it.
He was never going to give you room.
Yeah. Or if you're not going to ever go on the inside, forget about it. Don't do it. If you're not going to try to overtake him on the inside, just don't forget about it. Just try to get him later on in the lap, right? But the incident itself, right? Max knows the rules. I think there's a context. This is where I bring in Stella and everybody on the pit wall and everybody like that. You already know what these guys are, how they officiate Red Bull and how they officiate Max Verstappen. Have we been in the dark? have we been in the dark for years? We actually know this. We know this from like 2019. We already know how the guys are officiated by the stewards, right? So that has to be taken into account, right? So if that incident does happen where you're on the outside and then you overtake him, you have to give the position back. Just give it back.
Sure.
You have to instruct him to give it back. I know what you're thinking morally. That McLaren has to stand up for themselves and be like, "Oh no, we believe, that was a clean overtake. Lando should be able to keep that position, right?
Yeah,
because they both went off track.
Yeah,
and they should believe that, right? But they need to understand how the referees operate, how the stewards are going to operate.
They do need to.
They have to keep that in mind. This is not you overtaking Russell. This is not you overtaking Leclerc. This is you taking over Max Verstappen. What have we learned in the past about how he's officiated? You saw this for first hand in Austria, how they're going to officiate this.
Yeah.
And it's going to go against you. So the instruction to say, "Oh, don't give the position back," is a wrong instruction. Simple as. By the team. That's simple as, right?
Mm.
You should not be doing that. You should just tell him, "Yo, look." Because at the end of the day, whatever negotiations are going on behind closed doors or whatever sway people have over the FIA or whatever, you don't have that. Red Bull does.
Yeah.
So even if it was the other way around, where if Lando went on the inside and he pushed Max out, guess what? The penalty is going to go against you anyway. Because you have to understand the context of who you're racing.
Forcing him out, yeah. It would have been a fake case of forcing him out.
So regardless of if Lando went on the outside or inside, he's still going to get a penalty if he doesn't get the position back. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you think in that scenario?
So in all honesty, watching Lando be cautious with Max this time round, because obviously everybody has Austria in their head, right? I must admit, I was actually quite impressed is not the word, but I was like, cool, he is biding his time. There's going to be a moment when the iron is hot, like really hot, he's going to strike, overtake him, done and dusted. I didn't see it from a perspective of him being too cautious. I saw it from a perspective of, yes, he's got Austria in mind, and B, let's not have that mistake again. And that seemed to be more probably because in my mind, I just felt like Max knows it's a matter of time that this guy will pass him. The tires were cooked for whatever reason. After our pit stop, we went onto the hards, right? And as you said, the lower fuel, the race just came back to us. The car came back to us, and it was a matter of time when we were going to overtake Max. Not for 1 second did I think he will not do it. And there was plenty of laps left. I didn't mind how long it took because the fight for P2 and 1 was gone. Yeah. So the fight's P3. Let's have a battle. Let's swing with Max and show him what time it is for next time when it's 1 and 2. I genuinely thought actually what Lando was doing was pretty good up until the outside the track overtake. Now, the reason I'm a bit like with it is because how many times did this guy go off the track in this race? I mean, he had a warning of like, was it black and white? Is it black and white flags that you'll get for track limits? And it just seemed like you didn't need to go and fight that battle there in that turn per se. You could have had him anywhere. And there were moments where Max, I think, was like locking up. He was losing time. You know, he was cooked. He was cooked. And I felt like Lando at the right time, at the right opportune moment, he'll be able to do it. Not necessarily clean because Max is an aggressor and Max and him would fight. The other thing is like, you know, I believe the team should have at least communicated quick enough to be like, look, if there is any debate here, give the place back because you'll get him again. Like, that's the thing. Even Lando said it on the radio, you know, so I should have really just given it back anyway, type of thing. Because we know he could have done him. Do you know what I mean? We know he could have done him. But I think I personally saw it as, you know what, Lando's actually not doing too bad here. I don't mind him doing what he's doing because I think he's just waiting. He's like a shark behind Max, and at one point he's gonna bite and he'll get him. So yeah, that's how I thought about the situation. I was surprised that because both the cars went off track. Do you know what I mean? It's not like it was just one of us. You know, both of us went off track. Yeah, you can say, you know, like we don't have an unfair advantage when Max is off the track. We don't have an unfair advantage of overtaking him. Like we're both off the track here, and I'm on the outside, and I've overtaken you outside. So the penalty is a bit. It's one of those, like, I'm having this big debate with football at the minute. There's some rules that are in this rule book where I'm asking why are they in this rule book? Because what is this? Who gained the advantage with Max and Lando when they both went off track and one overtook the other? Lando didn't have like a better part of the track a better part of the off track. Like it was equal, and he went around the outside. Lando was simply faster. So it's frustrating because I know the car was better than Red Bull on the day, and he could have done him. And you know, he nearly put 5 seconds on his head just to, you know, claw back that 5 second penalty. That's how I feel with it.
I think personally, I just think at some point you need to know how to race this guy, man.
He's learning though, isn't he?
I feel like maybe other drivers would have got past Max quicker. In the sense of, I feel like when it comes to wheel in that situation with Max, it's like he's brain fast. I don't know what's going on. I've seen him with my own eye. This is what kills me. I've seen Lando with my own eyes absolutely cook people on that corner.
Yeah.
I saw Cota 2022. He cooked Fernando Alonso in that corner. So it's not like he's not cooking guys that are supposed to be, that are good or not. He knows how to overtake in that corner, and he didn't attempt it once. Do you know how much times he dive bombed in the inside on that corner and made it? And he didn't attempt it once. Why? He didn't even say it up. Why? Because he's gone to this passive thing. And we can go back to the beginning of the race. Because personally, for me, the beginning of the race, it's considering how it all played out, he'd be fighting for the win. If he stayed in the lead in turn 1 and got clean air, he'd be fighting for the win at the end of the race.
Do you think?
Because I feel like that car was in clean air, was near Ferrari pace at the end of the race.
Yeah.
So we would have been there. If he cleared Max quicker, he would have got Sainz.
You think he would have got Sainz? Okay.
He would have got Sainz. So I don't really. And you know what? I saw something because you know what? I've been completely like, don't look at me. I'm not looking at any media, no articles, no commentary on what happened. Right? I'm not particularly interested in anybody else's opinion. So this is my personal opinion from just watching the race. Right?
Sure.
I'll be totally honest. I watch races on mute. I don't even listen to the commentary. So I'm having a total like just me watching and seeing what's going on. Right?
Yeah.
Turn 1, yeah. You got to close the door. You can't. Why are you leaving the car's width? Why are you doing gentleman tactics in turn 1? Close the door. If you get hit, you get hit. So what?
Did he fall asleep there?
You can't leave even a tiny. You need to close it completely. You need to close the door. You need to hit the apex completely. Because guess what? They're not going to overtake you in the S's.
No.
Even if you get a weaker exit out, you need to close the door completely.
Shut that door.
And the thing is, I can understand if you both had the same reaction time. Max had a slow time. get off. He was slow off the line. So
Can
you had the
imagine?
opportunity to really close the door.
Yeah,
Right. If you
exactly.
both had the same reaction time, or Max had the same faster reaction time, yeah, you can't close the door. I can understand that. You probably lost the position, and that's why a lot of people lose position in turn one in Kota. But he was off the line so quick. You have to close the door. You can't do this passiveness, because if he's in the lead for even if the halfway through the first stint, I think he's either P2 or P1. And Max is not in it because Max didn't have pace. Sainz applied pressure on his head top early doors.
Yeah.
He didn't have no pace.
To go from P1,
and the McLaren was faster than that.
That P1 to P4, like I blinked and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I couldn't believe what I was watching. You know what I mean? And it's funny, yeah, because I haven't listened. Like I obviously watched the race and then I watched like a lot of the interviews afterwards, and all the conversation was about the 5-second penalty. And I thought to myself, hang on a minute, someone needs to address that start. Someone needs to address that start, because in all the times we've done a stream and we've talked about Lando's starts, and people have really like clamored Lando for his starts. I felt if there was one to really get onto him for, was this, because it was a mistake. He fell asleep at the wheel, and you can't do that in Formula One. Unfortunately, he's at the pinnacle of the most important moment in the race in a season, where not shutting that door, not being aggressive. That is something that he has to lick his wounds and get on. The only grace I've got for him in this moment is that it's his first year. And we did say this, we've got to remind ourselves of what we thought at the start of the season. Even at some point last season, we were saying, look, next year is going to be that it's the year where you can make your mistakes, because we don't think we'll be in the title race. In either title race, right?
Yeah.
But we are here, unfortunately. So obviously these feel a lot more painful, because that Constructors Championship, that Drivers Championship, do you know what I mean? It's really like that Drivers Championship. I feel like it's done. Do you know what I mean? I feel like it's done.
But we didn't believe in that in the first place.
We didn't believe it would be there. But I think like now people have to, because Max winning, Max getting that the way Max was on Saturday. I was like, okay, do you know what? Fine. If he's going to do it, that's that. If that's him, there it is. But for him to beat Lando again on Sunday, that is a killer.
When you think about it, and this is what we've always said as well, and I think people are, like I said, stop getting gaslighted by this. Stop getting gaslighted by the media to think there's a World Drivers' Championship, because there isn't. Because at the end of the day, there was an assumption that McLaren would be stay status quo as the fastest car by a amount.
Yeah.
But it's never. But at the end of the day, if you look at throughout the season, from race 1 to now, that's not always been the case. So why would you assume that will be the case afterwards?
No. Yeah, exactly.
And in the last 6 races, that McLaren will be the fastest car. This is why the narrative of World Championship is just Drivers' Championship is a joke. It's a complete joke. So, and to be fair, look, if you're a Lando fan out there, of course you're going to believe in it.
Yeah.
That's your driver. You got to believe in it. If there's even a mathematical opportunity, you're going to believe in it, right? But
Facts.
the reality is, he's not ready.
No, and this is the year to learn.
Right? we can get on the team, and we've stuck it on the team. Everybody that watches this, they know we stick on the team in terms of strategy. Or why did they do this? Why did they do that? Right? But him himself is not ready.
Yeah.
Because listen, at the end of the day, and I'll tell you, the most biggest Lando fans on here will say it right now. Max Verstappen is better than Lando Norris.
Of course.
That's just fact.
Of course, yeah.
At this moment in time, he's better than him.
I think there is definitely an inferior complex as well. Like I think what you said about what he would do to Alonso or someone else at turn 1 and whatnot, there is that fear I think he's got with Max, and it's something that he's got to within himself. I feel like it's a battle with himself, that he needs to know that, by the way, I can beat Max. And the thing is, what race was it when he beat Max and it was like 20 seconds clear? Max finished second.
Singapore.
Was it Singapore?
Last race.
It was the right.
Beat him off the line, sailed off.
Yeah, and sailed off, right? Like he needs to remind himself that this is possible. I can beat him, because I genuinely think, as you said, I think he's scared of Max, and I think he's and also just almost in a sense of like he's got a lot of respect for Max, and with others. And people like Leclerc necessarily don't have that much respect for him, because
Leclerc will clot him immediately. You'll be like, no, we've seen it already, man.
He will go for it. George Russell believes he's the best in the world. He will go for it. Do you know what I mean? With nothing to show for it. Dion, big up yourself, says Lando unfortunately doesn't have the killer instinct Max has. The race was lost in turn 1, lap 1. Lando should have closed the door in turn 1 on the inside. The race was lost there.
And if that happened as well, I'm telling you, Max is losing positions to one of the Ferraris.
Yeah, because they were on. The Ferraris watched this, you know, that classic watch this space. Let these guys have a little muck about. We are coming. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you play games, we will be there.
And Norris did that in the sprint race.
And Norris did it. Yeah, he did. He literally jumped.
He did exactly what Leclerc did.
He jumped on the case. Drea says turn 1 was painful, and that's why he was harsh on himself again. Not because of the end. He knows this, and I believe he will learn from it. I hope anyway.
Yeah, he knows. If you're Lando Norris, you're thinking about turn 1. You
got to be.
That's the only thing you're thinking about, and you say I fucked up.
You've got to be,
and he did.
Yeah. No, you've got to be. Ella says, hi, guys. Not going to lie. After I saw FP1 and sprint race, I decided not to watch the race. I don't want to sleep. I don't want to be sleep deprived and mad. Yeah, I mean, and I tell you what, I don't know what you would have done at turn 1. I don't know what you would have done, Ella, because it was.
I switched off my TV. Do you know why? Peter, do you know why? What happened? Yeah.
Go on.
I was watching NFL. I was watching Vikings versus Lions, right?
Oh,
Vikings is my team, right?
Oh,
and I watched the first half. Yeah, we were winning, and then we got smoked in the second quarter. I was livid. Do you know what I did? I sweat straight away. I switched it off. I said, "Let me put on the Formula One." Formula One. I was like literally 1 minute till lights out. I was like, "Okay, let me watch it." Yeah, I put it on. I see that immediately. I switched off the TV.
Oh my god!
I said, "No." I had to switch off the TV twice in 5 minutes. For 2 different sports.
The Vikings in that second quarter, what the hell happened?
I don't know. But I saw that and then immediately I saw Lando turn 1.
Oh,
within the space of 10 minutes. So my head was gone. But then I recouped. I watched it this morning. And then the thing is, I didn't see any commentary or anything like that. I didn't even know Lando had a penalty until 5 minutes before the stream.
Oh, right.
I did not know.
So how did you imagine? So like because literally you'd watched it up until and literally just finished.
So I went on to see some headlines on that Now News or whatever. So I just wanted to check on that, and then let me check the race result. I saw him P4, and I was like, right?
What's happened?
Because you have to remember, I don't listen to commentaries. I don't know whether the radios were saying, "Oh, he's got a penalty." I wasn't. All I could do is read what I'm reading in terms of what they put up on the screen, right? And then I see you got a penalty, and I was like, huh? Personally, I don't understand why. Personally, I think it's just a racing incident. But at the end of the day, you have to take into account who you're racing. And if you did that to, I don't know, Lewis Hamilton or George Russell or somebody, or even Leclerc, they're not going to give you a penalty. But if it's Max Verstappen, they're going to give you a penalty because they've got better people to lobby the FIA. The FIA and them are mates. They're at the steakhouse together.
Imagine.
So you have to know. Listen, we watched this. We saw this. Did we not see this with Schumacher?
Oh yeah.
What penalties was Schumacher?
Oh yeah.
Nothing. I watched that growing up. I saw all of that. I saw Montoya get a stop and go penalty for absolute nonsense just because he was racing Schumacher.
Yeah, you're right. You have to acclimatize to the situation that you're in,
and that's the thing.
And Lando's got to be aware. McLaren have to be aware. Big up to the 30 of you that are watching right now, man. Big up yourselves. Make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe if you're a McLaren fan or you like McLaren fan TV content. Here we are. As Dion says here, look, we proper mucked up this race. FBL magic. Look at you, Ferrari fan there coming in to smoke on the cigar. Adam Heddle says, so hard seeing Ferrari not bring upgrades, but still won comfortably.
The track suited them.
They've had a few wins here, haven't they?
No, but the track favored people who are either good in slow speed or good in high speed. They were good in slow speed. It does not reward a car that's good all rounder at all. Did not reward it.
Rose is asking for the rage, as Z says. Look,
I'm not
we're
raging,
sombra.
What do I care?
We know what pain is. We've felt pain many a time. And the thing is, look, like Piastri finished P5, started P5, Lando got P4. Like, there's a good haul of points we collected, right? On a bad day. On one of those kind of bad days.
But two teams outscored us.
But that's the problem.
Ferrari outscored us by a lot.
That's the thing.
I'm not worried about Ferrari long term because Ferrari's going to Ferrari somewhere. Somewhere, Ferrari's going to Ferrari. So
Are you
I ain't worried
sure?
about it.
Because I did look at the Mercedes and say, what the hell is going on over there?
Yeah, but the same way people were panicking about Mercedes. You remember? People were saying, "Oh, yeah, Mercedes is going to catch us." Then I said, "Chill out, relax. You can't just be, oh my God, someone's going to catch us every single race." As a response.
The thing is though, if you're looking at like what you've just said about Ferrari, somewhere they're going to Ferrari somewhere. But if you were to choose between the competence of Ferrari and Mercedes, who are you more banking on, cementing P2 or P1 ahead of McLaren? You'd probably say Mercedes.
Yeah, but
because Ferrari are a bit.
We literally. This is what's so funny about it. This is how reactionary F1 fans are, right? We literally saw Ferrari last race in Singapore.
Oh God, yeah, we did. We
because
literally
on my life they should have a double podium at the very minimum. So we saw Ferrari the last race. So why would you not think they're going to do it again? They have one good weekend. Fair dues, they did their thing, right? Car was beautiful, car was set up, whatever.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we've still got upgrades coming. We still got stuff going on. So we'll see what happens.
Listen, let's keep to the priorities, yeah? Jean's correct. Where's his MasterCard, bruv?
Vegas, man, Vegas.
Where is it? Shout out to Federico. Says Lando isn't willing to lose a friend for the World Drivers' Championship. Oh my God.
Yeah, no, but then what am I going to start saying? I'm going to start saying, what's that thing? Soft. He's soft. You can't do that.
Yeah. No, you can't. You can't.
You can't do that. But look, I'm at the end of the day, let's just see what happens. I'm not too reactionary about anything.
Yeah, guys, we got to relax. I mean, look, Amon says, "What's up, guys?" But then says, "Not gonna lie, I'm a bit scared of the constructors." I mean, I wouldn't be.
Okay, in the last 10 weekends, how many good weekends Ferrari had and how many good weekends McLaren had? Let's just talk law of averages.
Yeah.
Because we can't keep doing this. People, F1 fans, stop falling for this trick where the last race dictates your next race. It doesn't.
It does not.
If that was the case, we would have another Singapore. It does not do it. So why do we keep why do you guys keep doing this and falling for it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Ferrari's going to win the next 4 races. That's not how it goes. This is not one of those seasons.
Yeah, no, it's very true. Yeah, we cannot, because guys, we will honestly by Abu Dhabi, gray hair will fall out, whatever the case may be, wrinkles, like you're gonna grow old quick if you high blood pressure, you name it. If you go week to week, mate, and especially we've got a good batch of races coming up, a little break, another batch at the end. Honestly, I would stay calm. P1, I think, is ours because none of the others are consistent enough. Like Ferrari had a great weekend, but it will be somebody else next weekend. It will not be Ferrari. I can assure you, it will not be them. What's going on, Nom? Hope you're good. Says Max is better than everyone else on the grid besides Lewis. Let's be honest. Max built a reputation which Lewis didn't fall for. Hence the many crashes. How much do you want to see more aggression from Lando? Is that what you want to see?
I saw the aggression in Austria and he didn't bring it again. Why did you stop? Who told him to stop?
Because of the trauma.
Yeah, so what? Like I said, at the end of the day, look, you have to. Maybe I'm crazy, yeah. But listen, I've been watching Formula 1 for a long time. I've seen a lot of McLaren drivers all over the years, whatever, yeah. But at some point, you gotta say, let's go crash together.
Them ones, you just gotta put it out there,
yeah. At the end of the day, this is why you have to take one race at a time rather than thinking about the wider concept of the World Championship, Drivers' Championship, and stuff like that. Yeah. You need to make a marker because you're going to be racing this guy for the next 3-4 years. Why? What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Why are you being cautious? Just do what you did in Austria, because in Austria you had that mentality. You wasn't thinking about championship. You just did your thing.
I'd forgive him though, purely because it's the first year still. Here's what worked and didn't work in Austria. Here's what worked and didn't work in Austin. He can take that data with him and say, look, it's on. Like, I know what I need to. Like you said, look, turn 1, lap 1 is what is going to be in his head forever. Between now and Mexico, it's going to go through his mind. So maybe, and maybe that was still a part to play in that stint with Max later on down the race. Max was there to be eaten. He was there to be done. and he was cooked as far as I'm concerned. So I think genuinely, given another go, we will see something from Lando. We might see a bit of both. You know what I mean? A bit of in between in terms of the aggression and stuff.
I think there's a overall altruistic view, like just like a holistic view that's happening at McLaren, where we're like, we do the proper things, we do the proper way, we'll do it holistically, we'll race clean. That's not how you race against Red Bull. I'm sorry.
No, Red Bull, you got to fight fire with fire, isn't it?
And I can't lie to you, we never used to be like that. So I thought, obviously, this is the new version of McLaren and stuff like that, but we never used to be like that. I can understand that Andrea Stella's viewpoint and Lando's viewpoint of, oh, we're just going to race clean and we're going to do it the way we want to do it. We'll race the way we want to race. We're not going to go dirty, whatever. We're not going to do all this dark art stuff. But at the end of the day, you got to do it.
Listen, I'm with Chris on this. Like, you know, he was aggressive in Austria rather, and chilled a little bit more in Austin, maybe too much. And it's like finding that middle. I honestly, I genuinely think, like, you know what?
Do you know who naturally's got this middle? Piastri. Do
you think?
But right now, at this moment in time, like we haven't spoken about Piastri. Piastri, absolutely awful weekend. Awful. For his standards, awful.
I mean,
yeah, and it's simply due to him just not being fast enough.
Yeah, I mean, so you're putting qualifying obviously P5, finish P5. What?
He was too slow, man. He was too slow. Sprint race. I don't know what was. He was just slow, man.
Yeah, he was slow. He wasn't quick.
Your benchmark's your teammate. Your teammate can't be dropping seconds on your head rapidly, easily.
Yeah, that's fair. No, that's fair. That is fair.
And obviously, he gets grace. It's his second year. It's his second time ever being in Austin. He didn't race in Austin last year. He got taken out in the first corner, no? So he didn't really race. So, to be honest, Oscar did have a bad race. But one thing I will say is Oscar, in terms of racecraft, in terms of overtaking and stuff like that, he has the perfect measure of the right level of aggression, or whatever. He's got that.
Especially if he's got a car that he thinks, I can win this. I can go with it. Because I've seen
one thing Oscar does, he surprises you because he goes for it immediately.
He does.
He doesn't wait a couple of laps to set it up. He just does it.
But then that's where all that tire management stuff comes on. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, because he burns them quick and whatnot. Z says, look, he was 8 seconds behind Lando at some point. My head was twitching.
You have to understand there was a safety car restart. Why is there a gap? He's directly behind it.
Early doors as well. Shout out to Marino, who says, hello from Canada, gentlemen. Nice to see a McLaren-centered YouTube channel. Welcome aboard. I'm an old school McLaren fan from the early 80s. So you've seen some highs and some lows. You've seen some highs and some lows. So welcome aboard, man. It's good to have you. Welcome.
We're talking to some 90s McLaren fans right now.
We're the 90s McLaren fans. So yeah, interesting to see. Hussein says Lando doesn't want to build the same reputation that Max has. I think that's what's holding him back.
And it's probably messaged down from the top. Probably Zach and
I can see Stella
because
like
what you have to understand. Look, Zach and Stella are probably saying these are McLaren values. This is how we go racing. Blah 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 blah. And going racing like Max is nowhere on that agenda.
Yeah.
So if he did start racing like that, the team will probably scold him.
No, that's true.
But in reality, and people might say, "Oh, he doesn't have that killer instinct." It's inherited within the team.
Yeah,
they're building that culture where we go racing in a certain way and we don't overstep them or whatever. You've seen all this papaya rules, whatever. Like they're trying to dictate how both drivers go racing.
Yeah.
And they're having issues with trying to get Oscar to race the way they want to race. But Oscar's just going to race the way he wants.
It's fair. Look, Rosa says, look, let's not turn into Lando haters out here. It was a poor performance, but he didn't become second in the championship by being whack. Ultimately, his week-to-week needs major improvement and a wheel-to-wheel rather. Yeah. And we will see in Mexico.
Yeah, and listen. Rosa, where we are the biggest Lando fans out here, right? You're allowed to hold drivers accountable when they make a mistake, right?
Yeah.
Lando was absolutely fantastic to get that pole position. Absolutely we even spoke about that.
Yeah,
he was fantastic, and anybody can say, "Oh yeah, it was gifted." Russell crashed. You're supposed to do it on your first lap. He would get criticized if he was on a hot lap, he was on a better lap on the second lap and Russell crashed. And then people would say, "Oh yeah, but you shouldn't have done it. You should have done it on the first lap." But he did it on the first lap, and he put in literally put in a perfect lap.
Perfect
put in
lap.
a perfect lap, and that was when Max bottled. Max bottled his lap. His first lap, because I don't know what he was doing in the final 2 corners, but he dropped so much time. He's ridiculous.
I do think though, if there was no yellow flag, I think Max takes P1.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's all fair. That's fair. But at the end of the day, you're supposed to put your best lap in the first lap.
There you go. Yeah, he did it already. Yeah, Lando did
and
it.
He
already.
did it, and Max bottled his first lap. That's how it is.
That's how.
If it was the other way around, that would be the narrative, right? So Lando qualifying, he's taken a crazy jump from last year. He's outstanding. Remember all these times? This time last year, we were talking about Lando can't keep doing this.
Yes.
Missing out on pole when he's supposed to.
Yeah.
He's corrected that. Thank God. Right.
Yeah. How many poles is it this year?
6. 6 poles.
Is it Lando?
Which is crazy.
Is it 6 poles this year?
He's got more poles this year than Daniel Ricciardo's whole career.
No.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't.
Daniel Ricciardo's got like 3 poles, man.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he does. Check right now, bro.
What are you telling me?
Well, I swear Sainz has got like 5. He's got more than Sainz as well. He's got more pole positions than Sainz.
Oh my God.
Yeah, look, 3 career poles, Daniel Ricciardo. Sainz got like 5 or 6, one of them. But he's got more than both.
The people are chatting. Yeah?
So he sorted it out. He sorted out. But
wow.
There are deficiencies there where I have to point out, and it becomes apparent now. And I'm not going to say he's not good will to will, because he is. I'm saying he's not good will to will Max. He lacks the aggression. You need to match him.
Yeah.
Leclerc learned this lesson in 2019. He was like, all right, is this how you're going to race? All right, say no more.
Yeah.
If Leclerc meets Max on track right now, watch the aggression. It's insane.
Look here. Nom's bang on. One thing I'll give Lando props for is that he does learn from his mistakes. Remember how bad he was at qualifying, like you just mentioned there, and look at him now. Bang on. Lando learns from his mistakes. We have to remember that.
Yeah.
Every time we spoke up, like on this pod, what's so funny is how many times have we repeated the same issues we have? How often? And if it's the same thing, so say for example, Lando Norris's starts. Remember that was a bit of a topic of conversation. Yeah, but we were then learning that no, something's actually not quite right with this car, because it seemed like both drivers were having this issue. And even when it was not even when it wasn't the car issue, it was Lando's issue. We haven't spoken about that again since. What we're talking about is defending in turn 1, not necessarily his get out at the start of the race. So we are seeing improvements every time, and this is the year to iron out these creases. It's the year that we have to see all the mistakes that we do have, and how do we bounce from that. Again,
so people will say, oh yeah, Lando start again the same as before, right? This race, right? This is a completely different issue.
Different issue.
He cooked as a Max off the line. He did. He was fast off the line. He just didn't close the door. It's like in Austria when he overtook him in the sprint race and then didn't close the door. It's like he forgets that he's supposed to do the second part.
Yeah, that's the part. That's the main thing. Different.
He was so focused on let me get off this line quicker than him. He smashed it.
Yeah, absolutely. Dion's annoyed me here. Shout out to Dion. Right. Let me say this: if Lando had have been Daniel Ricciardo or Carlos Sainz, they would have finished in a higher position than Lando finished.
Okay. Dion, I want people that have these takes. Yeah, I want Dion. Anybody that has these takes, whatever. You are never in these situations because they're never in these situations because they're not faster than him. You have to be fast. It goes hand in hand. You can tell me all about this racecraft and all this other stuff, but you need to be fast. It's the fundamental 101 in Formula 1. You need to be fast.
Yeah, the fact that it says
Lando's got that in spades. These guys are not faster than him. Categorically, they're not faster than him.
Yeah, they're not.
We've seen this already. So people can say these hypotheticals. If he was in this situation, whatever, you need to be in these situations in the first place.
Yeah,
he's not in these situations. If somebody, this is what frustrates me about Oscar. People will tell me, "Oh yeah, Oscar will do this and do that in that situation." He's not consistently fast enough to be in those situations in the first place. He would have done this to Max, whatever. He ain't even met Max wheel to wheel on track. He's not been fast enough to be there.
He's not met him
because
he's not met him.
101 of Formula 1 driving, guys. Be fast first, and then you could talk about racecraft. Get there first.
Absolutely. There's your rage.
That's my rage, because
that's
that
the rage.
for those takes is just it's mind blowing.
Yeah.
It's like, do you know what it is? It's like when people say that with Sainz and Leclerc. Like they'll say, "Oh yeah, Sainz would have done that. Sainz wouldn't have done that. Sainz would have done better than Leclerc." Da, da, da. Leclerc's faster than him. He's never in those situations. Leclerc's got down the road.
That's the truth of the matter. Exactly.
That's the reality of it. So you can say, "Oh yeah, Sainz is good." Look, Sainz was taking it to him in the sprint race. He was doing these he overtook him, whatever. But majority of the time, Leclerc's bodies it.
Gone.
Leclerc body Sainz.
Gone.
So fundamental 101 guys. Fundamental 101 guys. Be fast.
Be fast.
Before you tell me all these hypotheticals, be fast first.
Yeah. Steph says, I respect that Lando values his car and is careful, but that doesn't mean you doesn't bring you points. So just show some rage. They want Lando to be,
I want him to
aggressive.
be like that. I really expected him to be like Austria, and then people would have hated him for it, but I wanted him to be like that way. But he chose a different path. So what can we do?
Ella, why are you hurting us like this? That sprint race where Oscar even took 3 laps to pass a Williams and an RB.
Oscar's not getting a high grade from you. I'm sorry.
Oh gosh. Yep, I've been through it all, says Marino. Says I'm amazed I don't have more grey hair. Listen, it's chrome now, yeah? We got that chrome hair for us McLaren fans, it's chrome. Nom says, yes, he does. He would love to see Piastri actually battle Max. That would be great. Don't get me wrong, that would absolutely be great. But like you said, he has to be there to be in the conversation. Oscar can go for it, says Drea. He has less pressure and takes a lot more risks. Lando is at McLaren for 6 years and got fed those stupid rules. They taught him to be cautious. Yeah, I mean, Daniel Ricciardo even being mentioned is hilarious. Shout out to. What? Who did you ban Magic?
Yes.
Oh, it said something crazy, yeah.
He's just annoying me, so I banned him.
Okay, look, we got some talk back here from Dion. BS young men, look at what Daniel did to Max when he was at Red Bull. Carlos did the same thing at Toro Rosso. You made my point yourself about how Charles and Lewis race Max. Don't get mad.
No, Lewis is passive with Max. We saw that in 21.
Yeah, he wasn't aggressive enough.
So he learned to be aggressive afterwards, but he was passive with him initially.
Yeah.
And what I'm trying to tell you, you're telling me Daniel right now. Daniel's not in F1, Dion. We saw 2 years. He's not faster than him. So how can he be in these situations? Carlos is not faster than him. He got beat in qualifying. He's not quicker than Lando Norris to be in those situations. So you could say, he was aggressive with these guys in those particular situations, right? You can say that. Oh, Daniel was aggressive with Max. Sainz was aggressive with Max, but that was a long time ago. That's not right now. We're talking about 2024 right now.
That's been a minute ago. Yeah,
and they wouldn't have the prerequisite speed to even catch Max to do that.
Yeah, no facts. Sarah Harris says, "Look, didn't we already see Daniel and Lando in the same car?"
So, Dion, please speak to me about your initial speed first before we talk about racecraft, because you can talk about the hypotheticals within those scenarios. Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton are fast enough to catch Max Verstappen on track. Are Daniel and Carlos Sainz?
Not today. Absolutely not.
That's a question for you, Dion.
Z says, "Look, you guys think we're going to see Oscar get a pole this year?" I didn't mean to send you over the edge, man.
This is one of my biggest worries right now.
Is it? Yeah. Is it?
When a car has got 6 poles, and you have none of them, that's a problem.
I'm with you. I understand that,
and we shouldn't ignore that problem.
Okay. I'm gonna keep an eye on the problem, but I'm not worried. Not now. Not yet. I'm keeping an eye on that problem because like, for example, I did a video the other day about like, what if Bottas joined Red Bull? Like we speak about all these number 2s for Max, this, that, and the other. One thing we could give Bottas, right? He got pole positions. He won more races than Danny Ricciardo. He got, I don't know how many poles, but like a good third. Like when it was between him and Lewis obviously smashed it, but Bottas still got a good third and still finished on the podium regularly. I know. I think the last year it was woeful, right? The last year was awful, but Bottas had some decency there, and I just genuinely think like we need Oscar, and I think you know what, Z, I think Oscar will get there. I think it will be a case of maybe not this year though. I don't know what we got left. We got Qatar, we've got Las Vegas, we've got Abu Dhabi, Mexico. It depends. It really does depend. I mean, right now, don't forget, Lando Norris is in the zone right now as well. Like Lando Norris took it up another level. Like he's really schooling Oscar. Do you know what I'm saying? Like he's really showing, man, this is what it is.
In qualifying, yeah.
In qualifying. But like even, you look at the Drivers' Championship, for example, and you just look at the difference between Oscar and you know what? This is Oscar's second year. Yeah. Piastri's still got some time. But comparing 6 years to 2. yeah, I don't know.
But this is the same time last year that Oscar had a bad patch up until Qatar.
I remember that, yeah.
And in Mexico, where Lando started way back and still overtook Oscar.
Yeah.
In P5. Yeah. So we see that he's just acclimatizing to it. I'm waiting until next year. I'm just saying it's a problem. I've put a tick on it. I'm not saying it's I just put a tick on it. I'm just observing in the background, because if next year Lando's still getting poles and he's not getting any, then it's an issue.
Yeah.
But for now, it's just it's noted.
TSA, awesome. Welcome, man. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're good. Championship is over for us. If Verstappen is considered legal, then the rules need changing seriously. Like seriously, it needs some serious.
I think if you're on the inside, you have all rights.
I think it was fair. Joyce, I'm not angry.
I'm not on the position of what Max did was illegal. I don't think Max should have got a penalty.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think so. I think I just thought great quality racing. They took it off the mark. Let them continue. I don't think anyone should have got punished. But hey, this is where we are. Rosa says positives, no DNFs for our drivers, and the front wings seem to work on Lando's car. Also, we're fighting for the podium.
The problem is with these upgrades, they brought everything, all the upgrades around the floor, but didn't bring the floor. So we've got the whole floor.
Well, and maybe
all those parts are for the new floor. So it's like a zombie car. You should have just brought the floor.
Look, Marino said, look, I think the car has more updates coming. That is the key, and a faster car will take care of the problems we are talking about. Rob Marshall and Pete Prodromou need to do more of their sorcery.
If you have a fast car, there's no problems. I've said this from the jump.
It's facts. Let me get through these last couple of chats before we do the awards. Actually, I need to bounce, actually. Amon says, by the way, knowing how Mexico is and Lando's history, I hope we are not pole in Mexico. Oh, dear. We need pole, man. What are we talking about? We need to be on pole and get that 1-2 finish, Richard says...
the only positive is that Max didn't look good.
Yeah, thank God. Because I'm honestly, on Friday and Saturday, I said, oh, dear. I was like, oh, God, here we go. Richard says Oscar probably won't get pole this season, and that's okay. As long as he's more consistent with his race pace and doesn't fumble wins, then it's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. To me personally, I'm looking at the pole thing for next year, not now.
Yeah.
I don't expect him to get a pole now.
Yep, ain't worried about Oscar, says Steph. He's learning fast and doing great. But yeah, no, honestly, I don't think there's much. I don't think there's much more we can really say. It's been a tough bloody weekend, guys. Okay. Yeah. Let's get with the pit crew out of 10 very quickly.
10, because they got the fastest pit stop.
We did it again. Well, I think we were top 2 last race, but yeah. Listen,
we're first, yeah.
We're doing great. We're doing great, guys. I'm gonna give them a good 9. Yeah. You're saying he was the fastest, yeah. 2.6. Was that on Oscar?
No, Lando. Actually, no, you know what? They were slower on Oscar. Lando got like a 2.2 or something.
2.2. Yeah, he got a 2.2. You're right. Ella's going 10 as well. Hussein saying 9.5 out of 10. So yeah, it's looking great. Strategists, where are we with the strategy?
I think the strategy was good, man. Could you say that them not giving the position back is part of strategy? Yeah. If that is the case, then I'd knock them down like 2-3 points.
No, but I wouldn't knock them down purely because I don't think I think they thought, no, we can win this case here. We can fight that case. We can fight that corner. We're both off the track. We can fight that case. I didn't think it was that absurd. I know Lando's radio doesn't help. It doesn't help them. But yeah, I think Z saying strategy 8. Jean, I think, meant 7.5 for the pit stop because they bottled Oscar with Piastri.
It wasn't Oscar's pit stop like a top 10 pit stop. What are you on about?
I thought it was a
20,
2.6.
there was 20. No, but even if you said they bottle it, it was his top 10 pit stop anyway.
Dion, Oscar will win the drivers' championship before Lando does. He has
doesn't
that killer
matter.
instinct.
Okay, Dion.
That Lando.
Dion.
Lando
People say stuff like this. Please be consistently fast.
Mm.
Because we needed Oscar there. I'd be happy if Oscar was back up. Where was he?
Covering Lando, innit? You should be there covering Lando turn 1.
Be concerned that he's not consistently fast enough in racing.
Yeah, in that conversation.
Work on that.
True.
I'm not even slighting anything, but with takes like that, just let's harpen back to that because we need to see a step.
Yeah, he's saying so. Strategy was 8. The position should have been given back. They had all the camera angles.
Yeah, that's the only mistake for pit stop. I think going long was the smart play.
It was a smart one. Pit stop 1st and 8th, I think. So 9 out of 10 says Drea. 8 strategy for Jean, and same for Nom as well. Drivers, come on, talk to me. Let's start with Oscar Piastri.
I'm giving Piastri a 5.
Oh,
just because you just
that
SQ1
to me,
biggest crime is being slow in Formula 1. Don't be slow.
Don't be slow. Don't be slow.
He improved from Saturday to Sunday, from the sprints to the race, but 5.
6 for Oscar, says Ella. Jean says 5.5. Drea just said strategy 8. Lando asked if he should give the place back. They said no. All other things were good. Yeah. I think they said no purely because they thought they could fight it. And also Ella says 8 for that strategy as well. I think they genuinely thought that it was them for them to fight. Z says 7 for Lando and 5 for Oscar. Hussein says drivers Piastri 6, Lando 8. Nom is giving Oscar a 6. Steph, Oscar a 6. I'm going 6 as well with Oscar Piastri. Yeah. Going out that early in SQ1 was horrific. And then, no man's land really in the race in terms of P5. What did he say? It was a lonely race for him. Why is it lonely, bro? You're in a good car. You're in a good car. So, yeah, no. Rosa says Piastri 7. Point for reducing his pace when instructed.
Where are the people that said he wouldn't help him?
Yeah, for real.
All right, no comment.
No comment. Lando Norris out of 10.
I'm going to be very harsh. I'm giving him a 6.5.
6.5.
And in the majority of that is getting pole position, but apart from that, he did have a good.
And even then, the pole. I mean, yeah.
We even spoke about that mistake in the sprint race. I ain't even speaking about that one. He's getting 6.5.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I'm reducing his score by a lot. I would give him a 6, but I gave him the 0.5 because he got a pole. The guy, turn one, joke thing.
Yeah.
Doing up the same post move 15 times against Max Verstappen instead of trying to go on the inside. It's just the same move over and over again. That's a negative. Sprint race negative. Apart from the start. The start was very good, but the ending.
It was, yeah. Drea says Lando 8. Jean says 6.5. Ella says 7. Rosa says 7 for Lando. So does Nom as well. Steph, Lando 7.
So I'm not that far off.
Yeah, both. I'm 6.5 with you.
Yeah,
I think, when you're in pole and you're in front, we clown Charles Leclerc for things like this, not converting poles into wins. We have to keep the same energy. Lando, because both drivers said the car was hard to drive and managed to get the pole and got closer to Max in the end. Yeah, the car did come back to him. Max didn't have a good Sunday, He didn't
have a good Sunday, and if you did what you did in turn 1, he would have never raced him. He would have
never been in the conversation.
He would be racing Ferraris.
And let's have that conversation there. TSJ Awesome says 6 for Oscar, 8 for Lando. Maybe 7 is fairer, but the sprint, you can't fault him. The tires were cooked. Setup was bad. But the mistakes was the mistakes, no? Oscar 5 and Lando 6. Oh, guys, I need to bounce. Yeah. We will be back after the Mexican Grand Prix next week. It was a tough weekend indeed, but thank you very much, guys, for joining us. We love you truly. And Formula 1 is back. Let's talk again. All things McLaren. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, smash the like on the video, and follow us on McLaren Fan TV on Twitter as well as Instagram. Until next time, people, we're out. Peace.
Peace.